What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with another review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Jazwares Micro Galaxy Squadron Fang Fighter from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. I'm a huge fan of the Jazwares Micro Galaxy Squadron line, so whenever I find one in store, I immediately pick it up. This one was actually sent to me by good friend James, aka the Max Rebo Experience. He is an awesome guy. He's kind of been my plug for a lot of Jazwares Micro Galaxy Squadron stuff lately, and a huge shout out to him for picking this up for me. So this is the standard packaging for the Starfighter class for Micro Galaxy Squadron. So this is part of Series 6, which is indicated by this white coloration here, as well as the words Series 6. Something interesting that they started doing with these Series 6 vehicles as well is including the logo of the show that the ship is from, which I think is a really awesome touch. So on the front here you have, this is on a blister card, you have the ship here in the bubble, as well as the Mandalorian Fleet Commander, which is actually the paint applications for the Mandalorian Privateer Black Series figure. So I think that's interesting that it's not exactly accurate in that way. You have a little graphic here showing you can put the Mandalorian in the seat of the vehicle, and then here you have your logos up at the front, Fang Fighter down here. This is number 125. On this side you have a Star Wars logo. On the back of the card you have just the usual stuff. You have your holographic image of the ship showing you all its different features. You have your little cutout card here. You could use this as a display card or a trading card, and then down here they give you all the different vehicles that come in the Series 6 Starfighter class, including the 2 chase variants. So with that, that's pretty much all there is to say. There is a little bit of a battle scene as well on the back here. You can kind of see an X-Wing as well as some TIE fighters in the back, but let's get this thing opened and we'll check it out. All right, so here's our Fang Fighter out of the box. Let's first take a look at the minifigure here, that being the Mandalorian Fleet Commander, who is technically the Privateer. You have his name down here, here's the figure, and then on the back they have these cool little illustrations on the little blue grid background of the figures. That's super cool. Now that we've got that all opened up, let's check out the minifigure a little more closely. So as you can see, he's got a ton of paint applications here, some blues, some silver, some browns, some blacks, just showing you all the different details of the character. You can even see if I lift his arms up here, they have painted and sculpted in the blaster pistol in the holster, which again is a super neat detail, and he's got the unique paint applications for the jetpack. The jetpack, like most Mandalorians in this line, does come off. You'll see this one has also been sculpted to have a uniquely shaped peg hole, so it will not be interchangeable with other Mandalorians. That's so that this jetpack, when you attach it, can stay straight up. It's not going to spin on his back there. All these guys for this line do have the exact same articulation style. They have a rod that runs through the shoulders, letting you spin the shoulders a full 360 degrees. And then, of course, they have a rod through the hips, which lets you bend the hinge there to a full 90 degrees so that these guys can seat themselves in their vehicles. Now let's take a look at the Fang Fighter. So something that I love about the ships in this line is the biggest thing being the dry brushing and the way that they paint on these details. This looks weathered. This looks like it's been used. You'll see that it's not just solid blue paint applications all the way through the ship here. You'll see they've painted the underbelly exactly the same here. You have just some really, really nice paint applications and paint details all throughout, whether it be that gunmetal gray color or the lighter gray for the dark wash they gave it, and the natural panel lining that comes with that. This ship has some seriously cool details. This ship is much smaller than the Gauntlet Fighter, which is more of the dropship style Mandalorian ship, and this one does also have some action features. You'll see you can actually lift up these pieces in the back here, and when you do, they expose some of the details of the engines, which are super cool. I love when they include the ability to see the innards of the ship. They even did paint in the thrusters, so the ship does appear to be in flight, which is really, really cool. Again, just super cool details, and Jazwares always pays extra attention when they do stuff like that. They even applied a little bit of a wash to the inside here. You'll see the yokes as well as the seating area are painted with that same dark wash. You got some really nice detail in there when you lift up that hatch. Something I'm always interested to see is if these guys will fit in the ships with the jetpack on. It does appear, I could be wrong, but it does appear that the this Mando will be able to fit in there with his jetpack on. We're going to find out. No, so unfortunately you do have to take the jetpack off in order to get him fully seated in the canopy of the ship, but when he's in there you can see him through the clear plastic of the cockpit, which is super cool. And finally, of course, as with most ships in this line, you do have some landing gear. So we're going to open up the kind of bottom pieces here. You have 2 pieces of landing gear. Those also open up to more innards of the ship, which is super cool. And then we'll open up the one at the bottom here too. And there you go. Now the ship can be in a landing form. And just like that, you'll be able to land your ship. If you enjoyed this review and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media. That's all linked in the description below. Guys, thanks for checking out this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.